Hello, Sean. Thanks again for your comment, and I will have a great Halloween, and you have a great Halloween as well. And this Carolism was having to do with the relationship, but it's one of the most important relationship is the relationship that one can have with thyself, right? And I think, being radically honest in relationships such as friendships and romantic relationships, yes, it definitely is a must. And sometimes, talking about friendships, there's certain things that people may not want to say to kind of hurt people's feelings. But I really believe that if there's something that you see in one of your friends that that they are kind of doing repeatedly over and over again and they're fucking themselves, and if you can notice that, and if you really are a true friend of that person, even if it hurts them, you need to call it out. Because the thing is, I can take it just as much as I can give it, right? So instead of pussyfooting around, just be like, hey dude, I noticed that you've been complaining about this and this, or this and this always seems to happen to you, and I notice it's because of that reason. Kind of let's talk about it, let's work it out. And sometimes people shy away from that, but I think you're not really being a good friend if you're not going to be able to be truthful about it, right? And I think in regards to romantic relationships, I remember working with a client once, and he was married, had children, and shared finances, but he couldn't talk about how he wanted to get fucked, right? And I was like, oh, this is very interesting. You kind of share all those different dynamics, but you're not able to say this is what this is how I want to be loved, or this is how I want to be fucked, or this is how I want to have sex. And I think the big component in regard to that is that a lot of times when people express what they want, they don't want to kind of say certain things because there's a lot of shame and guilt in regards to expressing your real true emotions. And especially kind of sometimes with men, they don't want to express certain things or be vulnerable because sometimes society has deemed people or men who express their emotions as pussies. But I think that's quite the opposite. I think men that are highly evolved or in their divine masculine are aware that there's certain limitations and are able to express it, be vulnerable, be able to work that out with their partner, because none of us are fucking mind readers. So you have to be able to kind of create a safe environment to be able to kind of share those things. If a safe environment doesn't exist in a romantic relationship between two individuals, I definitely believe it can be created, but it takes two people to want to make that work. And I think a lot of times, being radically honest, it's you have to pull up your big girl panties and your big boy boxers to be able to do that. But the thing is, having difficult conversations is foundational to have a successful relationship with someone. Talking with several of my male friends, I think their inability to be radically honest was the cause for the ending of many of their relationships. Because a lot of times, again, going back to that inability for men to express their emotions, because they wanted their partner to read their motherfucking mind. And I was telling them, no, that they have good qualities and how they want to kind of provide and protect for their partner, but that one component of not being able to be radically honest and share what they're feeling, I think that's all for naught if they're not able to express that with their partner. Because you can't kind of grow and evolve with someone if you can't be honest with them. And I think a big component why men cannot express their emotions is because I believe they've been brainwashed by society that if you were to express your emotions, then you're a fucking pussy. Because even think about it, I see sometimes even, when little boys cry, don't cry, boys are not allowed to cry. So even from a young age, they are kind of stunted and not able to express their emotions. But if you were to kind of watch divine masculine men, and I know that they're out there, a lot of them are still able to be masculine men, but they're able to express their emotions because they don't feel like a pussy when they express it. No, I feel that they feel that they are operating in their strength. to be able to have the courage to express those emotions to their partner, because how can you really work things out in isolation when you expect other people to just automatically know that there's nothing, that something's not right with you? That just, it doesn't work. And on the flip side with females, sometimes females don't want to say certain things because they became too passive, or I'm like, I don't want to say this because if I say this, my partner might leave me, they're too scared or whatever, you know. And I think a lot of times, you know, a lot of females these days, you know, have been with weak men, which created masculine women. So masculine women, if they're acting like masculine women, they're kind of passive, they don't express themselves either. So sometimes it takes a real masculine, divine masculine man to be able to lead a woman to bring her back into her femininity. So it's you have to work together, not apart.